How's it going, YouTube? Meteors, maybe Legacy, bringing here another video today, and this one is a game for commentary on Advanced Warfare. Finally, I'm so excited for Advanced Warfare. It's such a great game. It pretty much lived up to my expectations, surprisingly enough. With how high they were, I didn't think it would, but it's probably one of the best Call of Duties ever, either the first best or the second best, just because it's just such a great game. So. This is a 42 and 26 42 and 26 gameplay on Hardpoint. I get a quad feeds on Crane Hardpoint. So yeah, it's one of my best gameplays on Hardpoint. So stay tuned. Anyways, so I'm gonna tell my story of Advanced Warfare, pros, cons, all that. So starting out, I got it on day 0. I waited about an hour in line for this Call of Duty. Totally worth it, by the way, but the way Nadeshot did it was retarded. They made me sit out in the cold, even though I had a number, and then I told them I had a number, and then finally they let me in, and then they had 2 lines, and the numbers didn't even matter, because if you were number 1, you still had to wait in line like number 130, so that didn't matter. I mean, that was good for me anyway, because I was number 132, so, it was good for me. I felt bad for all the people that got there early to wait in line, though, so, whatever. I haven't uploaded in a few days just because I've been grinding out Advanced Warfare, trying to figure out the hardpoint rotations and everything, so I do apologize for that. I'll be uploading tomorrow a couple best class setup videos, and then I'll be uploading the next day a few gameplays, so, look for that. So getting right into the pros of Advanced Warfare, one of the pros is all the different weapons they have. You have, like, I think it's 6 different ARs, 6 different SMGs, 4 different snipers, and, they're going to bring in these DLC weapons, obviously, too, so that'll just add more variation. So, I really appreciate them adding a bunch of different weapons. I mean, it's relatively the same to Ghost and everything, but their weapons are more balanced, in my opinion, other than the BAL, but, I'll talk about that later in the video. I like the bullet damage that all the weapons do. Typically, they kill them 3 to 4 or even 5 shots, whereas in Ghost, it was usually 2 to 3, or in Black Ops 2, it was 5 or 6, so... I really like, this is probably my favorite bullet damage in any Call of Duty, in my opinion, just because it's not too quick or not too slow. So I also want to talk about the movement aspect of the game. You got lots of people dashing around and everything, but that means nothing if you can't do it mid-gunfight. That's the whole reason they put this in the game, was for pros to move around, do it mid-gunfight, be able to turn on people, all that. So, I mean, it was also to be different, obviously, but the main reason for me to use movement would be in a competitive scenario to turn on someone. So, movement's really important in this game. You gotta constantly be moving around, dashing around the map and everything, which is why I think one of the necessary perks is going to be Blast Suppressor, which suppresses all of your exo movements and everything, like right there you just saw. But, so Blast Suppressor is definitely a necessary perk. You also have got Fast Hands. I think it's necessary for a faster reload, and then Toughness is also necessary. I wouldn't say Lightweight's completely necessary unless you're running SMG, but I like to run on my ARs too, so, try it on your ARs if you haven't already. It's a really good perk. Which brings me to my next point, which is how good the variation is in perks, exo abilities, and your nades. Your perks are just so different. They brought a lot back from Black Ops 2, which I think is good, and right here I get a nasty 4-piece. Oh, baby. Boom, boom, Val 27, overpoweredness, look at that shit. Anyways, so, sorry I got off track there, guys. The perks are really good. You got the 3 that I just mentioned, including Blast Suppressor, and then you got all the other ones, which also added the game. In Ghost, they had lots of perks variation, but lots of them weren't really important, in my opinion. Lots of them didn't really play a factor in competitive, not just because they were banned, but because they were very unimportant or very minimal perks. So in this game, I think they did a really good job with the perk variation. They also did a really great job with the exo abilities. You got Exo Trophy, Exo Stem, Exo Cloak, and there's one more that's usable. I think it might be Exo Ping, or I don't know, I can't think of it right now, guys, but those 3 are going to be used in competitive unless they ban them. Exo Stem gives you, I tested it out, and it gives you, with an AR, it gives you 1 to 2 more shots you can take, and then with a sniper, unless you get a headshot, it's usually going to be a hit marker with a sniper. So Stem is a little overpowered in my opinion if you're a sniper or something like that, but other than that, it's pretty good. And Cloak it's not that important right now, but I can picture an S&D, someone running a smoke and then running running Exo Cloak and just being invisible. That way, you know, it's like an undercover play. I'm stuttering. Holy shit, guys. Sorry about that. But anyways, and then another usable perk is going to be Trophy. That's going to be very important for Hardpoint. When you're an OBJ player, you're going to be in the Hardpoint activating that so nades can't kill you. So I think it's really good that they put those as abilities. You know, I really appreciate that. And then my favorite fast set of Advanced Warfare is definitely the maps. You got so many different maps for competitive, so many different maps just in general. I mean, I've played them all already, but you know, I've been grinding it out, so obviously I'm going to play them all with 14 hours on the game. So the best map, in my opinion, has got to be Retreat. Maybe not the best, but my favorite personally, just because it's so bright. It reminds me of Raid from Black Ops 2, you know, the glory days or whatever. So that's why it's my favorite. You know, it's a 3-lane map, pretty well put together, a bunch of different levels, a bunch of different rooms. So I really like it. Ascend right here that I'm playing on, this is my second favorite map. I tend to get lots of good gameplays on it, and I think it's mainly because of how it's set up. You know, that's a long sight, which I tend to do better when maps have long sight lines and everything. So I think that's why. Another good one, a bright one, is Solar. I really like bright maps, as you can tell from, you know, what I'm saying. Bright maps are good in my opinion, way more so than in Ghost when you had Freight and all those maps. They were all really dark and not vivid, whereas in this game, you know, they tend to be very, very vivid, and I think that's something that Sledgehammer did really well. So getting into the few cons of the game, the first con that I need to mention is going to be the Battle 27. You know, it's overpowered. That, you know, all the YouTubers have made class setups on that. I'm going to be making one too. But you know, it's just so good. The first, I think it's 5 rounds, you're fired slower than the rest. So that's the AR aspect of it. And then once it gets a higher fire rate, that's the SMG aspect. So you can just rush into a hard point, take out their anchor, rush into it, and then by then you already have the SMG aspect of it with the faster fire rate. So I think it's pretty OP. You know, it mounts faster than other guns, but that's okay. You know, all the guns tend to mount really fast. I think they're gonna buff them anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. Saying a lot, geez. Another really good fast out of the game, or a really bad fast out of the game, is the different weapons you can get, the different versions of the weapons. You know, for the battlers, like enlisted, professional, like same with all the weapons, elite, all that. But then there's different versions of those too, and I think it's pointless to put them in. Like, it's good for just a casual pub player, but for me, it's pointless for them to put them in just because competitive they're going to get banned, because no pro is going to grind out the game until they're master prestige, and even if they are, they might not have the same weapon unlocks that someone else might get that another pro might get from a supply drop. So I think they're definitely going to ban all the variations of the weapons, just keep them at the base if they haven't already. Which is why I think it's pointless from my perspective, for them to put that in. But you know, it's whatever. And then the last con I have to talk about is just how weak the SMGs are. It's ridiculous. The KF7, I think it's called, or it's the KF5. I don't know. Ghost had the KF5. I think it's the KF7. The KF7 is just so weak at long range. And you're like, well, that's supposed to be expected from an SMG, but it's not even long range. It'll be mid range. It'll be mid to short range where I'll get 5 hit markers, and then the AR just turns on me and melts me. It's crazy. It really is. So they need to buff it if they're gonna fix that. And then one of the last bad things about it is gonna be uplink momentum. Uplink, the spawner is way too close, in my opinion. You know, you get 4 down and they spawn right on it. And momentum, if the teams aren't balanced, then you just end up losing or winning really fast. This gameplay is coming to an end. I'll be uploading one more video today and 2 tomorrow. This has been Meteors, and you guys have a nice day.